All right, well, hello there, audio friends. Welcome back to the channel. MrAyrit here, and today we're doing a little test on audio interfaces. Long story short, I've been using the Behringer UM2 for a long time. That's this guy. It's been fine. I don't think it's anything too fancy, but it's gotten the job done for me using my Moano mics here that I've got. So it's worked just fine, right? This new company, Synido, though, sent me out their new LiveMix Duet audio interface. And so I thought this would be a good time to do a comparison between it and the Behringer, and we can decide, which one we think sounds better, and then that'll help you make a decision on what you want. Because on the surface, they seem to be pretty similar in what they offer. So I'm going to show you the Behringer first, just because I have the Synido hooked up. And then we'll switch and we'll take a closer look at the Synido and what all it comes with, right? So the Behringer, it's got one XLR input here for microphone. It's got an instrument 1/4 inch, and then it's got monitoring out here. Okay, you can see little lights and stuff to show clipping and various things like that. The knobs for this guy, the gain knobs, are on the top. Okay, so again, you've got monitoring, instrument, and the mic line there. On the back, RCAs, USB in, 48 volt on or off, and a Kensington lock, right? So pretty simple device. Plastic, doesn't weigh very much. It's fine, right? It's a cheap audio interface. So the Duet does a lot of the same things. So let me go ahead and switch over to the Behringer sound-wise, and then we'll start looking at what the Synido looks like, okay? Okay, so now we've got the Behringer hooked up, and the audio is running from that, so we can take a closer look at the Synido here. You can see, first thing that stands out is this sucker is purple and orange, right? Some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it. If you hate it, but you think this product sounds like it's for you, don't fret. They have like a black-gray version as well, okay? I got to tell you, though, is my nephew was really excited about the purple and orange, and he was like, man, if you don't want that, I'll take it. So some people are going to love it. So what does it come with, right, as far as inputs, outputs? Well, it's very similar, right, except you got two XLRs. Either one, they say can be used as like mic or instrument. Of course, you can do the 1/4 inch in the middle there too if you want to, right? The gain is on the front for each of those. You've got switches for, are they instruments or is it for microphone? So you can switch those inputs. I don't really know what that does. I didn't seem to hear a lot of difference, but I'm sure, maybe a musician would understand that a little bit better, what those do. You've also got 48 volt buttons on the front, and those light up when you have those engaged, and I'll show you that here in a moment. And then you've got the monitoring 1/4 inch out here. You can do stereo, mix, USB, so you can kind of play around with that as well. And again, it's got its own gain knob for that too. Around the back, pretty simple, right? You've got 1/4 inches for monitors that can run out, whereas the Behringer has RCAs, and then this has just USB-C in. Okay, so what else does the Synido come with? Comes with USB to USB-C cable, color match. That's cool. And then it comes with a set of earbuds that you could use for monitoring if you don't have those, with like a 1/4 inch adapter. That's kind of nice that they included that. I mean, I haven't listened to those. I'm sure they're not great, but it'll get you up and running if you need them. And then it comes with these other two cables that are kind of interesting. One is USB-C and the other is Lightning. Okay, so what these are is, it's like you've got a USB-A that goes to power. You've got either USB-C or Lightning that can go to a mobile device of some sort, and then you got USB-C to go into the Synido. So I haven't tried this yet, but we'll hook this up to my iPhone here shortly and see how well that works. So interesting that they included those cables. Obviously, they're gearing the Synido a little bit more towards like creators on the go, perhaps, so you can take it with you and you can use a mobile device. So if that works well, then I see that as a big plus here. Okay, so again, this has been audio coming out of the Behringer. Let's switch back to the Synido, and I can show you a couple of those other things that I was talking about here. I guess really I should show you too is we've got the UM2 here. You can see how it's got different things, different indicators on the front, and you've got a little clip light there, which is nice to have. Neither of these I can really get the gain loud enough that I have an issue with clipping on it, but it's nice to know that it's there in case you need it. Okay, so one more audio test here with the Synido, and that is I'm using this mono microphone here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the levels to make sure all this works. I'm going to switch to this microphone over here. So turn down this microphone now. Turn on this guy over here. And it seems to me like all of that works extremely well. Again, this microphone, it's more of like a USB/XLR, so I don't know if it's quite the right mic to work with these interfaces. It sounds okay, but it seems like this guy is a little more geared towards this. I'm just going to turn both of them on, and we're just going to see what happens to that now that I've got both of them on here. So we're going to switch back to the Behringer here for just a moment for another audio comparison, and then we'll jump back into some conclusions here about both of these audio interfaces. Okay, last audio test here, putting the Behringer in just so you can hear it one more time. We're going through this mono microphone over here, and what we're going to do is I'm going to take a listen to all of this stuff, and we'll come back with some final thoughts here. Okay, so here's what I've got hooked up here is I've got the Synido hooked up to just a USB wall wart, right? I've got it running through the lightning port on my phone, and it looks to be running pretty well here. And you can even see down here that it's got the phantom power is working. You can see the levels there. I can turn that on and off, right? And so that's all seems to work as long as you got it plugged into a USB wall wart. I did try it just straight out of my computer USB to power it, and that did not work. So you gotta have a USB wall wart, probably running 5 volts, you know what I mean, to make this guy work. But it seems to work well with that, so I think that's pretty cool. Just for comparison purpose, this is the internal microphone of the iPhone 14 Pro. Okay, so I'm just going to try again. I'm trying this other mic. I mean, anything test I did with this one, I wasn't getting, like it was getting those pops and things like that. So I'm not sure if this is really going to be a mobile device or not. So I'm trying it again, one more microphone. We'll give it another shot. We'll see what it sounds like. Okay, so final thoughts on the Synido LiveMix Duet. I think it's an acceptable device for USB audio coming out of your computer. The mobile stuff, I mean, I was using an iPhone 14 Pro, but you heard the audio, right? I never felt like I got the audio I wanted out of it. It sounded good, but then you had those little kind of breakups in the audio and the pops, which isn't acceptable for me, or I couldn't imagine for like musicians or anybody really. So mileage may vary on that depending on your microphone, depending on what wall wart you're using, anything like that. But as far as recommending it with a mobile device, like I don't think I can say that it's good for that. Hey, just wanted to jump in here at this point and let you know how Synido responded to me when I sent them a sample clip through the mobile device and told them what it was doing. And I let them know what microphone I was using, which is a 48 volt, you know, should work. It should work. But they said they recommend using the Duet with a 48 volt large diaphragm microphone or a USB microphone that supports 48 volt for better results. Both of my mics do that. So pretty much they didn't have an answer for me. So again, the mobile stuff, I wouldn't count on it for that, personally. Back to the end of the video. But everything that I tested with it for desktop usage here, has worked really well in my opinion, and it sounds really good. Does it sound better than the Behringer? I don't know. I think they're pretty close, right? You be the judge of that. You can listen to audio yourself for this and make that decision. So, which one am I going to use going forward? I'd take either or, honestly. I know my nephew really wants the Synido because of the colors. I'm probably going to give it to him, honestly, just because he appreciates that more than I do. But I think either one is acceptable for sound, and I think they both offer kind of pretty similar functionality. So I would just say pick the one that you kind of think is going to fit your use case the best. The one weird thing that you need to know with the Behringer is just you need to go in and change a setting to get stereo. Otherwise, the default mix going out to your computer is that the XLR is one channel and the 1/4 inch is another channel. So if you want to get just stereo mix for something like this, there's just a setting you got to go into and change in your Apple MIDI settings. I don't know what that would be on a PC, but that's the case for this. Whereas the Synido, it just works right out of the box, which is beautiful. So I can recommend either device. They both function. They both do what they need to do. I think they both sound pretty good. Is all of this worth it above a USB mic? Like if I just use this, I do think the audio is a little bit better than if I just go straight out of a USB mic in my experience, and it just gives you a little more flexibility. So in that regard, it's a great device. Thanks, Synido, for sending it out. Hope this helped you make a decision. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next video. Appreciate you.